curious case of false memories. When your mind plays tricks on you, the mystery of false memories. Have you ever sworn you did something, only to be told it never happened? False memories can feel just as vivid and real as true ones. This psychological phenomenon has puzzled scientists, legal experts, and everyday people for decades. In this video, we'll dive deep into the world of memory, where reality and fiction often blur. False memories aren't just ordinary forgetfulness. They're recollections of events that never occurred. They can include detailed imagery, emotions, and context, making them almost indistinguishable from genuine memories. Sometimes we're so convinced of their truth that we argue with others who remember differently. But how do these mental glitches happen? The brain doesn't operate like a video recorder. It reconstructs our memories every time we recall them. And during this reconstruction, details can be added, altered, or completely invented. This means that even the most confident memory can be a beautifully crafted lie your brain told you. Understanding false memories isn't just a fascinating topic, it's crucial for understanding human behavior, courtroom justice, and even how we define our own identity. What happens when the foundation of your truth is actually fiction? How our brain builds memories. To understand false memories, we must first understand how real memories are made. Our hippocampus plays a key role in forming and retrieving long-term memories. But memory isn't like pressing record. It's a complex, error-prone process. Memories are formed by piecing together fragments of sensory input, emotion, and previous experiences. When we remember something, we aren't accessing a hard drive, we're reconstructing the event using those fragments. This is where errors can easily slip in. The brain uses shortcuts and patterns to make remembering faster and more efficient. Unfortunately, this also opens the door to distortions. When details are unclear, the brain might fill in the blanks with what it expects to be there, not necessarily what was. Over time, this can reshape a memory entirely. Each time we recall an event, we're not pulling out the original, we're reshaping it, sometimes without realizing. This process is known as memory reconsolidation, and it's why even long-held beliefs about the past may not be entirely accurate. Suggestibility and the birth of false memories. One of the most common ways false memories form is through suggestion. If someone tells you they saw you at a party you don't remember attending, your brain might eventually create a memory of being there. This is known as the suggestibility effect. Children are particularly vulnerable to this effect, but adults aren't immune. Repeatedly hearing or imagining an event can make it feel real. Media coverage, leading questions, or even dreams can feed into this illusion. In the famous Lost in the Mall experiment, participants were told a fabricated story about getting lost in a shopping mall as a child. Many not only believed the false memory, but added rich emotional details that never occurred. This study shocked researchers and highlighted how easy it is to plant memories. Understanding suggestibility shows why eyewitness testimonies can be so unreliable. If a police officer, for instance, asks leading questions during an investigation, they might unintentionally shape what a witness remembers: emotion and stress. Memory's double-edged sword. Emotion plays a powerful role in how we store and retrieve memories. Events tied to strong emotions, joy, fear, anger, are often remembered more vividly. However, this vividness can sometimes trick us into thinking a memory is more accurate than it really is. Stress can also alter how memories are encoded. During high-stress situations, like accidents or trauma, the brain may distort or even fabricate certain details to protect itself. This is one reason why memories of traumatic events can be inconsistent. In the case of PTSD, for instance, people might remember sensations or fragments of a traumatic event, while other key details are missing or rearranged. These changes aren't deliberate. They're the brain's way of coping. Emotions can intensify false memories, making them feel more real than mundane ones. A memory that never happened, but is wrapped in intense emotion, can become one of the most vivid in your mind. Source monitoring errors. Have you ever told a story you believed happened to you, only to realize later it was someone else's story you heard? That's a source monitoring error when the brain misattributes where a memory came from. Our brains categorize memories based on where they came from: real life, books, dreams, conversations. But this system isn't foolproof, especially when the source was similar in context, like watching a movie that felt autobiographical. Over time, details can merge. You might remember a news story as something you witnessed personally, or confuse a dream with reality. These moments are more common than you might think, and can feel unsettling when discovered. Source monitoring errors help explain how group memories or collective false memories occur. If enough people believe and reinforce the same incorrect memory, others may adopt it as their own. When memories go to court, in legal cases, eyewitness memory is often treated as gold. But what if that gold is fool's gold? Countless studies show that human memory, especially under stress, is unreliable. False memories have led to wrongful convictions, some only overturned decades later. One high-profile example is the satanic panic of the 1980s, where suggestive therapy led many people to falsely remember ritual abuse. These memories destroyed lives based not on facts, but on fabricated recollections. Eyewitnesses are especially prone to false memories when they're exposed to misleading information after an event. For example, being shown a photo lineup with subtle cues can influence who they think they saw. Because of this, many legal experts are calling for reforms in how witness testimony is gathered and presented. Memory isn't proof, it's perception, and that distinction could mean the difference between justice and injustice. The Mandela Effect. Shared false memories. Have you ever remembered something one way, only to find out the world remembers it differently? That's the Mandela Effect. It's a term coined after many people falsely remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. Even though he lived until 2013, this phenomenon highlights how entire groups can share the same incorrect memory. Common examples include misquotes in movies like Luke, I Am Your Father, or the Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears spelling debate. These shared misrememberings can be strangely convincing. One theory behind the Mandela effect involves how our brains simplify and categorize information. When multiple people are exposed to similar cultural inputs, like media or advertising, they can misremember the same details due to these mental shortcuts. Another theory suggests social reinforcement plays a role. When enough people insist on remembering something a certain way, it reinforces that memory for others even if it's incorrect. The Mandela effect reminds us how easily and collectively our minds can be fooled. False memories in childhood. Children are especially susceptible to false memories. Their brains are still developing the ability to critically evaluate and categorize experiences. This makes them more vulnerable to suggestion from adults, stories, or even television. In studies, children have been led to believe they saw events that never occurred, simply by being asked to imagine them repeatedly. Over time, these imagined events become indistinguishable from real memories in their minds. This has serious implications, particularly in legal cases involving child testimony. Well-meaning adults can unintentionally implant memories just by asking leading questions or using emotionally charged language. It's essential to approach children's recollections with care and proper technique. While their stories can be genuine and accurate, they're also highly impressionable. Misguided questioning can create lifelong memories that never actually happened. Dreams versus reality. Blurring the lines. Have you ever woken up and couldn't tell whether something actually happened or if it was just a dream? The boundary between dreams and reality isn't as clear as we'd like to believe. Sometimes dreams can feel so vivid they blend into memory. The brain doesn't always label experiences clearly. A powerful dream can leave behind emotional residue and visual details that feel like real memories. Over time, without conscious reflection, we might file these dreams alongside real events. This confusion is especially common when the dream involves familiar people or settings. You might remember having a deep conversation with a friend, only to later realize it never happened. It was just a dream that felt real. Dream-induced false memories aren't dangerous on their own, but they can lead to awkward situations and distorted perceptions of past events. Learning to reflect on memory sources can help separate the imagined from the experienced. False memories in relationships. False memories can cause real conflict in relationships.
Imagine remembering a promise your partner swears they never made.
Both people might be convinced of their version of reality, leading to arguments, resentment, or distrust. These moments can feel deeply personal. Memory is tied to identity and trust. When someone challenges your memory, it feels like they're questioning your honesty or intelligence, and though it may just be a glitch in recall. Emotions, stress, and bias can amplify memory distortions. If you expect someone to act a certain way, your brain may remember them doing exactly that even if they didn't. It's a psychological loop fueled by assumptions. The key is recognizing that memories aren't always facts. Open communication, empathy, and humility can help couples navigate these misalignments. Sometimes the truth lies somewhere in between. Trauma and memory distortion. Trauma deeply affects how we store and recall memories. In high-stress or life-threatening situations, the brain prioritizes survival over accurate memory recording. This can lead to fragmented or altered memories. Some trauma survivors report vivid, specific recollections. Others experience blackouts or altered sequences of events. These inconsistencies don't mean they're lying. They're symptoms of how the brain protects itself. In some cases, traumatic memories may be repressed and later recalled, but this process is controversial. Critics argue that recovered memories may be false, especially if retrieved through suggestive therapy or hypnosis. Regardless of the debate, it's clear that trauma changes the brain's memory mechanisms. Compassion and scientific rigor are both essential when evaluating these recollections, especially in sensitive or legal contexts. Technology's role in shaping memory. Our digital world is altering how we remember. Smartphones constantly recording our lives, often rely on photos and videos to remember events instead of fully experiencing them. But what happens when these digital cues conflict with our actual memories? Studies show that people can form false memories after viewing altered or staged images. A doctored photo might convince someone they attended an event they never did. This raises ethical concerns in an age of deepfakes and AI-generated content. Social media adds another layer. When friends tag you in posts or recount stories, your brain may absorb their version as your own. Over time, your personal memory may shift to match the group narrative. As our digital footprints expand, so does the risk of memory distortion. Being aware of how tech can alter perception is vital for protecting the integrity of our memories in the modern age. How to protect your memory? Fortunately, there are ways to safeguard your memory. One powerful tool is mindfulness. Being fully present during experiences helps solidify them in your brain and reduces the chances of confusion later. Practicing critical thinking is also essential. Ask yourself questions about your memories. Where did I learn this? Did I experience it or just hear about it? Reflecting on sources helps clarify truth from fiction. Journaling can help document real experiences before they blur. Writing down events, emotions, and details shortly after they happen creates a reliable external record to revisit later. Lastly, limit multitasking and reduce distractions. The brain needs focus to encode memories effectively. By giving your attention fully to what matters, you improve both the accuracy and emotional richness of your memories. When to be skeptical of your own mind. It's healthy to occasionally doubt your memories, especially if details feel fuzzy or inconsistent. Memories that pop up suddenly feel dreamlike or are influenced by other suggestions should be approached with caution. Memory is incredibly persuasive. Just because something feels real doesn't mean it is. Our brains are designed to tell coherent stories, even if the data is incomplete. This storytelling nature can lead to believable but false recollections. Being skeptical doesn't mean distrusting everything. It means balancing confidence with curiosity. Ask questions, check facts, and be open to revising your memories as new information comes in. Admitting you might be wrong about a memory isn't weakness, it's wisdom. In a world full of misinformation, the ability to question your own mind is a superpower. Final thoughts? What is reality without memory? Our memories shape who we are. They influence our identity, guide our choices, and give meaning to our relationships. But what happens when those memories aren't real? False memories don't make you broken, they make you human. The brain's job isn't perfect accuracy, it's survival, connection, and meaning. In that process, distortions are inevitable. Understanding the fragility of memory can make us more empathetic, careful, and humble. Whether you're recalling a childhood moment or testifying in court, remembering that memory itself is flawed can change how you see the world. In the end, your memory isn't a camera, it's a storyteller. And like all storytellers, it sometimes adds a little fiction to the truth.